Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my speech entitled Sustainability in Our Universities, Case of the University of Sus. My name is Wajdi Korba. First of all, I would like to give a brief introduction to my background for this presentation. I am professor in computer science, currently Dean of the Institute of Computer Science and Communication Techniques, and a former member of the University Board. Also, I am initiator and head of Performance and Ranking Group of the University at SUS and National Coordinator of UI Green Metrics World University Ranking. So, the plan of this presentation is as follows. First of all, I will talk about everyday's life sustainability in our universities, its importance, challenges, the actions we can do, and the good practices, the recognition of these efforts and why it is so important to recognize and to show these efforts, and also the constraints we are facing every day. I will also talk about managing the sustainability during the two last years during the COVID-19 pandemic, and I will finish about something very important in sustainability, which is networking for sustainability. And I will mainly talk about its importance and its benefits. So it's obvious that today acting for environment is no longer a luxury. It's very important for our lives, but also and mainly for our children and this next generation. And the place that the university takes, its size, give to the university a very strong impact on its environment because of the number of stakeholders. We have a lot of students, teachers, staff, partners, and so on. The possibility to act, to train specialists, which directly affects environment. The research we can lead in this topic, and so on. But we are mainly facing two problems today: a problem of culture, a mindset, we will talk about later, and a social and economic environment which is not really favorable for sustainability, or for talking about sustainability. Our university, the University of Sus, has as a slogan a socially responsible university. But we really aim that it goes beyond the slogan. We aim to have concrete actions and mainly to be able to measure and verify it and to show it to the public. So the University of Sus has signed the climate emergency letter. We were the 78th university to sign it, which is a commitment to fight against climate change and to make all possible efforts to the environment. So what is done in everyday's life in our university can be divided into several different themes. We act on the academic level. For example, we have a master program designed for sustainable development of local craft production, a master program of energy control and reasonable exploitation, a master program on agronomy and environment, and so on. And these are only the curricula dealing directly about environment, not to mention courses in finance, in computer science, and so on, introducing sustainability in technical lectures. Also, in a research level, we have at least 8 laboratories dealing directly about sustainability. 7 are in the Agronomy Institute, for example, agrobiodiversity, conservation and valorization of vegetal resources, development and biological protection in agriculture, management of animal resources, and one in the Management Institute, which is management of the innovation and sustainable development. We also have a PhD program on agronomy and environment. In the projects level, we are involved in several projects. For example, MEMED project, which is Mediterranean Environmental Change Management Master Study and Ecosystem Building. The MedQuad project, which deals about innovation and sustainable local development. The Common Med project, dealing mainly about plastic from the environment to human health, or to our food, direct food. CLISA project for climate change in agriculture. And these are only the last projects and the most important ones. Also, our university is very active with associations, clubs, and civil society to make events, concrete actions for the environment. For example, the organization of Green Energy Day by the club Green Energy. It's an association, a student association in our university. Also, the Let's Bike event, which consists on having an event with a tower, city tower, using only bikes, and to raise awareness about the importance of the environment, the possibility of using less and less cars, and also being healthy. Also, the Clean Up the Med event, which consists on simply cleaning our beaches, made by students, staff, professors, and stakeholders, all different stakeholders. We also organize actions related to the industry. I can cite the participation of our university to the Green Night Challenge by coaching, calling for interest, coaching and pitching startups dealing with environment and sustainability. And the best projects will go to the Green Night Challenge, the International Green Night Challenge, to be organized later this year. Also, the Eco Blue event, which is a challenge for the best initiatives in innovation, entrepreneurship, using and introducing sustainability. But all these efforts, which are only examples, and constitute for us good practices to be repeated, strengthened, improved, has to be shown to the public, to the students inside university and the partners outside the university, because it's very important to recognize these efforts. First of all, just to justify expenses, because dealing with sustainability may be expensive. Also to attract new followers, in the sense that students who will see these events may participate the year after, may introduce their friends, families, and so on, and may spread these good practices outside the university. This recognition has different levels. The basic level is a sustainability annual report, in the sense that the university has to write it clearly what it is doing for sustainability, and then broadcasting this report to all the institutes and to the faculties, to the students, and so on. Also, the website is a good vector of transmission of these actions and efforts. Social media today cannot be avoided. It's very, very important to publish what is done, the call of participants, and so on. But also, a major point is to appear in specialized university rankings. Indeed, as I said earlier, that these efforts has to be measurable, has to be verifiable. So the best way to measure these efforts, to show what has been done compared to other universities, similar universities, is to appear in ranking dealing with sustainability or environment. The problem is that very few rankings dealing with this topic. So as you see here, we have only 3 multidimensional rankings: QS, Times Higher Education, and UI Green Metric. And from these 3 multidimensional rankings, we have only one, which is Green Metric, which is 100% oriented sustainability or environment. As you see here, environmental focus is for UI Green Metric, launched in 2010. After rising in importance, Times Higher Education has launched its own specialized ranking about environment, and QS is now talking about creating a new one very soon, dealing with this topic only. So let's start with the first one, UI Green Metric. UI Green Metric World Diversity Rankings is a ranking as I said, 100% oriented environment and sustainability. It has 6 topics, and each one has its own ponderation. For example, education and research, 18%, and shows contains courses, research, publication, website, report related to green and sustainability. Transportation, 8 indicators inside, 18%, deals with transportation policy to limit the number of private vehicles, pedestrian, and so on. Water, 10%, deals with decreasing groundwater usage, increasing conservation program, and protecting water general case. Also the waste management, 18%, energy and climate change, 21%, valorizes the efforts to use the energy efficiently, developing renewable energy, and so on. And the last one is the setting and infrastructure, 15%, which is related to the campus. Is it sustainable? The budget of the university dedicated to sustainability, and so on. As I said, Times Higher Education is not 100% oriented environment, but since 2019, 3 years ago, Times Higher Education launched its impact ranking, which uses calibrated indicators to provide comprehensive comparisons across 4 broad areas: research, how the university helps to deliver the SDGs by creating research in relevant topics; stewardship, how the university acts as a steward in one of the key factors in delivering the SDGs; outreach, how the universities do with their local, regional, national, and international communities; and finally, teaching, which is the place of sustainability in the curriculum. So, Times Higher Education Impact Ranking gives an evaluation for universities in 17 points, which are the 17 SDGs. And at the end, it gives an overall, a global ranking. So, as I said, we have to measure our efforts and to see the road to be done again or yet. In Times Higher Education, our university is ranked 601 to 800 in the world, but this rank doesn't show precisely our efforts. We have other indicators which are perhaps more important. We are second in Tunisia, and more important, we are ranked in all 17 SDGs, which shows really our commitment to fight for the environment in all the SDGs. We are ranked first in Tunisia in 10 SDGs out of 17. And we are top 300 in the world in 2 SDGs, which are gender equality and life below water. Finally, we are in the top 400 in the world in 7 SDGs. As for the other ranking, University of Sousse is ranked 565 in the last ranking, and it is we are first in Tunisia and the Maghreb, which represents a lot for our university. These two results, these two rankings, to show how far we are going in our efforts, and to show us also what we can still improve, because these rankings give an evaluation in each point. So for each point that I mentioned, you can evaluate yourself and see what efforts can be still done, what improvement you can still make. But with all these efforts, we have several constraints. The first one is a constraint of culture and mindset. And this is due to mainly to our societies, which give few place or few importance to sustainability. So this is an everyday fight for our university to change minds, and this is not a short-term work. It's mid-term to long-term work, and we hope that we will see the results in a few years, but it's hard to fight against cultural points or to change mindsets. Also, we all know that nowadays we have a economic crisis. So during economic crisis, you have different priorities. And as I said, acting for sustainability may be expensive. So when the budget is tight, the priorities are not clearly sustainability. The priorities are daily expenses, paying salaries, equipments, ensuring that the core of the work of the university, which is teaching, research, goes well. And in the second place comes the sustainability. Also, we are in lack of sustainability leaders. So, given degrees, master degrees, PhD degrees in sustainability, in one sense, gives also the future leaders in sustainability. But this is more long-term and very long-term work, and we have to wait that these alumni get work, become important in their companies, and be able to impact their companies or their environment, or more larger in a positive way. Also, we lived these 2.5 last years a global crisis, which is the COVID-19 crisis, and we had to change our way of life, because country lockdown periods, we had restriction of shifting, restriction of meetings. We closed the universities, so we had in that sense a positive point for environment, which is less heating and less air conditioning offices and classrooms. Because that the lectures stopped, the offices were closed or working at minimum performance. The researchers and professors were confined at home and had to work online. And what this crisis this pandemic gave as main problem for people dealing with sustainability is that added to budget problems, we have new priorities with budgets, which are sanitary protocols, sterilization of offices and classrooms, and so on. So this budget has to be cut somewhere, and it's likely always from sustainability budget. And also, we were unable to plan activities because of lockdowns, general confinement. So making events, having actions for the environment were almost impossible. But also, as I said, this crisis has several positive points for environment. I said less use of heaters and conditioners, air conditioners, the rise of interests and importance of digital transformations. So we took advantage of this crisis by using less and less paper, having less direct contact, and using digitalization of administrative procedures, switching for e-learning, which has a positive impact on environment because people don't have to have transportation, to take their cars, to get inside the classrooms together, and so on. So we had several initiatives about this point, as organizing the meeting or webinar about recovering and revitalizing education for the COVID-19 generation, participating to ICT in our lives by a talk about the feedback of digital transformation during the global crisis, and so on. And as I said, I will finish by a very important point for us in our university, which is networking for sustainability. Because obviously, together we are stronger. So networking allows us to exchange with others, take advantage of their good practices and their experiences, to candidate together to calls, to participate together to projects, and so on. And in this point, we are member of UIGM Green Metric Network, which aims or which targets sustainable universities for a sustainable future. Its principles are very simple. It's open, participatory, collaborative, based on mutual respect, and having a common goal, which is sustainable universities. So via this network, we took part to several seminars, and we had a book chapter together called Sustainable. The book was called Sustainable University and Food Efficiency During COVID-19 Pandemic. We also organized conferences, and mainly the first regional workshop for UI Green Metric. And one of the points is to raise awareness about the importance of green in our universities. And mainly, which is a very interesting point, very interesting output of this network, is creating an online course on sustainability with 7 contributors, 7 universities from 4 continents. This is the importance of the network. The participants are 10 students from each university for free. This course is coordinated by University of Sao Paulo and with the label of UI Green Metric. And what is very important about this course is that, of course, it deals with sustainability. It shows the global practices of sustainable development goals, the experiences of 7 different countries or universities, but also allows students to work in groups, multicultural, and making projects about the sustainability as they see it, as they practice it in different countries, which is very important to raise awareness of this new generation and create or lead to future leaders of sustainability. So this is one pilot project. We're conducting it, and we are starting a new one with this project, with this network, always for sustainability and always for students and for raising awareness about the importance of the environment. Thank you very much. This is the end of my talk. Thank you for following me. Bye bye.